jack of all trades is a master of none. This way of thinking is one of the reasons why we believe to focus our attention on one thing that we're good at, focusing our attention on one thing, and mastering that thing. Before you graduate, people will ask you if you're going to get your master's, if you're going to specialize, or what your plans are for the future. Your parents proudly share the news with others that you're going to become a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, and so on. But if you observe the patterns, most people study one thing and end up in a completely different thing than what they actually studied. We are taught to focus our attention on one path because no one wants to be a master of none. But this way of thinking causes limiting beliefs. Take, for instance, the 4-minute mile. It was once believed that you could not run a mile in under 4 minutes. Many tried and failed. They believed that it needed to be in the right and the perfect conditions. They believed that it needed to be in the right track, in the right weather, in front of a huge crowd encouraging the runner to perform. But then, on a cold day in Oxford, England, in 1954, a man named Roger Bannister became the first human recorded to run a mile, which is 1.6 kilometers, in 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. Now, 59.4 seconds can be debatable. But what's interesting about this is that after Roger Bannister completed the 4-minute mile, other athletes stepped up to the challenge and actually beat his record. Now, something that was seen as a barrier, something out of reach, was conquered. And now it is a standard in middle distance runners, proving that you can conquer and achieve it. And what Roger Bannister did was that he broke a limiting belief. In life, it is important to look at things from different perspectives, because after all, most discoveries are found in unexpected places. In the 1900s, a German aviation company was testing out supersonic jets. Through observation, they noticed that the raindrops colliding with the plane approaching the sound barrier created a shock wave that dented the metallic plate of the plane. Through observation, they made further investigation, and they made a discovery in medicine. They found that they could use shock waves to break down kidney stones. Now, when we look at these two stories, there's something we can see here. For Roger Bannister, he was not only a middle distance athlete, he was actually also a neurologist. He saw two passions, he saw two things that he liked. He took them and he ran with them. And if you see the aviation company, this was a place where medicine had no place being. Yet, the physicist and the scientist in the in the company were able to find a connection and bring it into medicine. This wasn't because of scientific expression, this was through cross-disciplinary curiosity. When we look at these two stories, we can learn something. We see that in society, it is important to look at your field and find a way to connect it to something else, because you never know how your skills can impact the next. But we also learn that sometimes it is our own minds that prevent us from seeing beyond our capabilities. Sometimes we stifle our dreams because we believe that most of the things we do are just hobbies. But if you observe the patterns, most people who make a difference embrace their passions, step out of their comfort zone, and make themselves unique outside of their field. For instance, Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou is known for her poetry, but she was an activist, an actress, a scriptwriter, and so much more. She was able to draw from her life experience and to tell beautiful stories and be known as one of the greatest poets to have lived. If you look at Leonardo da Vinci, he's known for his painting, the Mona Lisa. But Leonardo da Vinci was not only a sketch artist or a painter. He was actually a scientist. He was an architect. He was so fascinated by the human biology that he studied it extensively and was able to use his sketching to make a connection with biology. And if I bring it back home, I can bring it back to Dr. Esperance Luvendal. She studied at the University of Namibia, Hage Geingob Campus, as a medical doctor. But she did so much more even while she was studying. She was a poet. She loved to dance. She even did public speaking. And even while she was studying, she owned and honed these skills. Now, I've mentioned all these people, but what do they have in common? Well, before I can answer that, I want us to look back at the first quote that I gave. A jack of all trades is a master of none. This sentence and this quote is actually cut in half. For those who don't know, the full term is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but often better than a master of one. Imagine if Roger Bannister did not take up running. He would have studied neurology, stepped in line with other neurologists, probably got a consultation room. Who knows how the future lies? But he was able to make a change, and he was able to break a limiting belief outside of neurology. Imagine if Dr. Esperance Luvendal decided to just do medicine and throw everything that she loved away. Yes, she would still be a doctor, but she wouldn't be able to take up what she has and make herself different and stand out. She wouldn't have been a Forbes 30 under 30. She wouldn't have been a brand ambassador for Standard Bank. She wouldn't have been able to leverage herself to be something that she is. And now she's even a minister. Now, to answer your question, what do all these people have in common? They are known as generalists. People that are knowledgeable about multiple interests, skills, and hobbies. I had a conversation with a friend once. They said, Rachel, you do too much. Don't you think you should just focus on your school, graduate, and perhaps when you're done, you can focus on these things. But often, when we are in university, it is the time for us to discover ourselves. It is the time to learn who we are and what we want to achieve and make ourselves different. So I continued. I chose to do all the things that I did, and I learned so much from all of these things. This is a journal. It is used for self-expression. This is a UV lamp, used to gain a skill and earn income. These are scrubs worn by people who are pursuing medicine. This is a skateboard. It helps you tackle fears and helps you embrace the bruises that comes with life. This is a DJ controller. It is used to gain a skill, earn money, but most importantly, connect with others through music. And this is me, an extension of all these things. Through these, I have learned so much about myself, and I continue to grow and expand myself. Now you too can have your own unique combinations. Now I'm not saying do too much, but what I'm saying is, at the end of this, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What are the passions that you are suppressing? What are the skills that you want to acquire? I want you to look at life with a curious eye. Because in a world that praises specialists, dare to be a generalist. After all, it is those who pave their own path that make a difference.